Hey everybody, it's Aidan here once again, and welcome back to rFactor 2 as it's time for another mod review. Now today we're looking at the 1996 F1 mod by Slide, or SL1DE as it's stylized. Now, a few months back I did a race in a Forti at Barcelona and I managed to get from last on the grid up to second place in a Forti, and that was because we were running the equal performance mode of this mod, and then the historical version, which is basically the real world performances, got released a little bit later. And I haven't done a proper review of this yet, so I thought what I'd do is I'd take you through the mod, and then like I did when I did the 2013 review, is take a car from each sort of tier, if you will, and drive them around a bit and see how they compare. So, the 1996 Formula 1 season, just get into the little bit of historicalness of it all. It was won by Damon Hill, finally, and Damon was sort of my childhood hero, and he won the championship that took place between the 10th of March 1996 and it ended on the 13th of October 1996, which, funnily enough, was my 6th birthday. So Damon won the championship, Jacques Villeneuve came second, Michael Schumacher was third, and Williams just ran away from it, ran away with it across the whole season. It was actually the last Williams to be designed by Adrian Newey, as he'd gone off to join McLaren for 1998. He spent most of 1997 on gardening leave. So what I thought I'd do now is I'll just go into showroom view and pick maybe 2 or 3 cars just to show you, and see what we've got in terms of the models. Now, I've driven the Ligier, I've driven the Forti as part of story time, and I'll leave links to those as we go through. Maybe just put a link right at the end of the video. But I think we're going to look at Jean Alesi's Benetton, because the Benetton was one of the best looking cars that year. Okay, so here we have the Benetton. Now, 1996 for me had some of the best looking cars and some of my favourite cars of all time. The 1996 Williams being one of them. The 1996 Benetton, which is this one, looked fantastic, as well as the 1996 Ligier. 3 of my favourite cars of all time all came from this year. Now, 1996 was the first year that we had these high-sided cockpits, which we see all the time today. And it was also the first year that the 5 red light starting procedure, the one we have where it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, pause, lights out, away we go. That actually started in 1996, as well as a new qualifying format that incorporated the 107% rule. So, moving back to the cars, here we have the Benetton, and it just looks very, very good. I mean, high-res textures, moving around. It's always a bit dark on the other side, unfortunately, in this new showroom view now, the DX11, but it just kind of shows off the shadows, really. But we'll leave it at this sort of angle. So I'll cut here, and I'll load up another car and see what we've got. We'll move down the grid, I think. We'll jump to like a mid-grid team. Right, moving down the grid, we have this Jordan, first year of Benson Hedges sponsorship. This is Martin Brundle's car that he wrecked absolutely spectacularly at Melbourne. But again, just very, very high quality textures. Zoomed right in here, no blur whatsoever, great reflections. Okay, we've got a bit of shadow blur, but that's more due to the settings I've got that set to rather than it being a problem in the mod. Got some great detail on the Ligier tyres here. Moving around the front. Every car has its own unique model, and it all just looks very, very good. Powered by Peugeot. Awesome. Alright, let's move on to something else. And moving on a bit further down the grid, here is the Tossers, or Ricardo Rosset, a friend of the channel. Ricardo Tossers Footwork, later became Arrows. Jackie Oliver used to own the team, and then Tom Walkinshaw bought it out. And you can see those high-sided cockpit sides again. Some cars in 1996 had much higher cockpit sides, particularly Ferrari and McLaren and Footwork. But again, just showing this off, and if I press enter here, go onto car models, some high, low, downforce models to choose from, but we'll leave it on medium downforce. And then we can just move into the back of the grid teams now. I'm going to look at the Minardi next. And finally, we have the Minardi. This is going to be one of the 4 cars that we're going to drive today. Going to drive the Benetton, the Sauber, the Footwork, and the Minardi, and we're going to see how they all compare to each other in terms of the physics, as every car would have been different in 1996 instead of all being the same in terms of handling, because it's Formula 1, it's not a spec series. And we're going to go to Interlagos for this one. I think it's a really good track to test cars at. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all there is to say. It's been a while since I did a mod review, like I say, so if I have missed anything, I'll put extra info in the description box or in a pinned comment at the bottom. I'm still not feeling myself at the minute, so yeah, this is probably not going to be my best mod review, but I hope it gives you a good indication of what you can expect. And get on the Steam Workshop and download it for yourself and see what you think. So let's get down to Interlagos and take these 4 cars out for a bit of a spin. Alright, so here is the Benetton in the Interlagos pit garage. Looks really good, doesn't it? But we need to see how it handles. Default setup. Let's go. Well, I say default setup, I have put some extra fuel in the car. Just trying to get some heat into the tyres. All the lights on me when I need to upshift and things like that. Decent amount of turning. Just keep it in second gear for traction purposes. Stay off the curb. Whoa. Rear tyres cool down so quick. Chased down far too quickly then. That was my fault. Front tyres are generating a lot of temperature, but the rears don't want to warm up at all. Now when I drove the Forti and the Ligier for story time, I used the League Edition and they seem to handle okay in terms of the temperatures. They're not here. Maybe it's car specific. We'll find out when we move into another one. Especially that left rear, it's getting quite cool. Maybe it's because I'm running default setup, I don't know. See a bit of a wobble on power. Oh, front end slide. Alright, one more lap then. And then we'll move on to the Sauber. Lazy and Barrichello had their incredible battle in the wet here in 96. It's much drier than it was back then. Verstappen in the footwork went fastest at one point. But these are so much fun to drive. So I mean, 58 degrees on that rear tyre. We're running 80s on the front. I've got loads of front end grip, but I'm having to be so gentle on my acceleration. I don't think those rear tyres should be that cold. Alright, we'll call that there then and we'll move into something else. Let's park her up here. Get onto the outside view. Look at that, that looks so good. Let me get rid of the... oops, no, which one is it? It's that one. So that's the Benetton. Or John Lazy's Benetton. And now what we're going to do is we're going to jump down a tier into tier 2 and we're going to drive the Sauber. Alright, here we go in the Sauber. Different engine noise. Sounds great. What a noise. Love it. Running the Ford V10 in the back of this thing. Oh, the reverberation around the track as well. Whoa. I think this is easier to drive than the Benetton was. I never know the correct line to use through these last few corners. Tyres seem to want to behave in this car though, so it might have just been a problem with the Benetton rather than an overall problem with the mod. Temperatures want to stay in the 60s here. Oops, a bit too deep. Fucking hell. A bit too much confidence, I think. Get the power down much sooner. Tyres seem to want to warm up a bit better. Left rear is a bit cold. but I'm less tentative about putting my foot down in this car. That reverb though. Bit better. Tyres are warming up much more uniformly in this one. I could lap all day in this. Not like that, I won't. Ah! What is up with me today? I just can't drive. Alright, one more lap. Come on. Don't know what happened there, but like I say, I'm not here to hot lap. I'm just here to review the physics more than anything. Performance is something that comes in a race. Fuck's sake. Ah. Alright, I'll park up here. This was the Sauber of Johnny Herbert. Again, looks absolutely fantastic. Not much else to say, really. I mean, forward-powered Sauber looks absolutely marvellous. Let's move along, and we'll jump into the Tosser's footwork. Okay, this is the Tosser's footwork. Hart V8 in the back of this thing. Once again, we've got the default setup just to see how things handle. Different engine sound. So we've not just got the realism in terms of the physics, but we've got the realism in terms of the different engine sounds. Feels much slower than the Benetton. Surprisingly easy to drive as well. He says he gets a bit of a drift on in that corner. Rear end's a bit slippery here. But considering this is default setup, not too bad. Back end wants to go, but... So, I mean... Oh. But that's the different characteristics that you have with each car, is that each one behaves in a different way. In this case, back end in this car was quite slippery on power delivery. I wasn't full throttle until I was halfway through that left-hander there. Whereas for the other two cars, I was on the throttle much earlier. Well, on full throttle much earlier, I should say. A lot less cornering grip as well. Feeling the front end just slide on me. There we go again. So rear downforce in this car is rather lacking. But having each car have its own... Having each car have its own little characteristics just makes everything a bit more realistic, I think. I've destroyed the tyres on this car already. So you can sort of tell the further down the grid you go, the worse the cars are going to get. Tyres have had it. You can probably hear the flat spots coming through the microphone. Oh god! Oh god! Ah! This car's a death trap, but there we go. There's the tossers. Footwork. Like all the other cars, looks absolutely brilliant. I think it's a handful, as they should be, the further down the grid you go. But there's not much else to say about it, so what we'll do now is we'll jump into the Minardi. And finally, the Minardi of Giancarlo Fisichella. 1996's first season. And we've got a Ford V8 in the back of this car, so not got the power of the big boys. I don't think we've got the grip of the big boys either. I can feel the front end washing. Yep. So the footwork had no rear grip. This one's got no front grip. We'll start to turn in at some point today. And now I can get my foot down. Oh, there's a bit of a bump there. Down on power by about 20 kilometers on the straights. And power. Come on, get turned in. Ah! Alright, let's try and get one more lap in without spinning. Slides everywhere. Flat spot in my tyres. God. Come on. Ugh. You've got to be a more skilled driver than me to want to be able to drive this thing. One more lap. Destroyed the tyres as well. Oh, for crying out loud. Front end grip non-existent. Ah. But anyway, that's, well, it's Giancarlo Fisichella driving Tarso Marquez's car, but this has been the 1996 mod for rFactor 2. It's available on the Steam Workshop. I should have said that at the beginning, really, but yeah, I mean, realistic in terms of performance. Still some things that need to be worked on, I think, mainly with the rear tyres and their temperatures, but in all, I really like this mod, mainly because 1996 was, you know, a big year for me in terms of watching Formula 1. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say. It's been a while since I've done a mod review, so apologies if this has been crap. But anyway, I've been Aidan Millward. Have a great day wherever you live in the world. Leave any comments or questions below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And I'll see you again very, very soon. Goodbye.